Robbie,
Yes.
let's
Crush it.
that's the best way to start the podcast. I feel like.
High five knuckles. Shake hands knuckles.
Where did that come from in BJJ?
That is amazing
Mm-hmm.
that you asked that. Because it seems like everywhere you go, that is like a mutual thing that just people just do.
Yeah.
Hey, do jiu-jitsu? Yeah. Oh, nice. High five knuckles. High five knuckles.
It's so seamless. I like it a lot.
Okay.
I don't have to worry
Okay.
about this thing where people are like, do this, and then they hold and do
Mhm.
that thing. I can't do any of that.
Mhm.
I usually go for a handshake.
Mhm.
That's like my go-to.
Uh-huh.
But the slap, knuckles, it's very
High five,
seamless.
fist bump. You can't go wrong with it. It's like, and there's like different levels to it, right?
Mhm.
You have like you're in the gym, like high five knuckles with your friend, your boy.
Yeah.
You have your like more competitive one where like you're more like
Oh,
something like that.
I've not experienced that yet.
Each one kind of means something different. Like,
Whoa.
yeah, each one you can tell you're almost like passing the vibe left,
Okay.
between each other. Like, what kind of roll is this gonna be based on what kind of knuckles you kind of give?
I like that. I haven't experienced that yet, so I can't wait.
Okay.
Just for our listeners,
Mhm.
I'd like for them to have a little bit of background on you and for them to know I met you through Little Tokyo Fight Club, which is hosted by Yabeseo from James Choi, who is the owner and proprietor of Cafe Dulce's all around Los Angeles. He's been a guest on the podcast now a couple times, James, and he is one of my favorite human beings on earth. He's like an older brother type to me. He's so honorable, so respectable, so fun to be around, and he creates such a positive change in his community, and that's so rare nowadays. And it's so cool that he's developed this Little Tokyo Fight Club and where people can come train jiu-jitsu safely, positively. They get to grow, they get to challenge themselves. And it's just a blessing in disguise. And you coming in as a teacher, I knew after a couple classes, I'm like, oh man, this is exactly the type of teacher I want to learn from. Someone who has a good sense of awareness, does it safely, and it's fun at the same time. It's not too complicated, especially for someone like me, where I know I seem like I'm perfect at everything, right?
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely. 100%.
I'm terrible at jiu-jitsu. No, it's an awesome feeling. No, but I'll admit I'm terrible
Yes.
at it because I don't know what to, like, I've never done it before, especially when the first class, I remember we were free rolling and I got to free roll at, like, okay, I'm on top of a guy. I remember laughing and just going, I don't know what to do here. I don't know where to go from. This guy's guard is good enough to where I'm like, I can't get past it. So it's been such an amazing experience. I want to thank you for teaching, spending your time there. And for our listeners, let's talk about your background a little bit with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So when did you start? That kind of thing.
All right. Started jiu-jitsu, like I started in like January 2018. But I kind of been around it for like a few years before, just kind of, same gym, Conde Coma. I was bringing my nephew to jiu-jitsu. He was in the kids class, starting like the minis, the very, very young class. And I would just bring him there, after school, and, just over time, I remember like the owner, Chris, like I remember him asking one day, like he's like, hey, when are you going to try jiu-jitsu? And, I was kind of like, not too long after like high school, fresh out of high school. And, you're kind of like too cool for school at that age. You're like, oh, nah, like jiu-jitsu, I'm okay. I'm just here to like bring my nephew and whatnot. And they had a, like some kind, like a New Year special or a holiday special, like, hey, sign up, in December or January and get like 2 months, 2 months and a free gi. Like, okay, I'll give it a shot, so I remember telling my nephew, like, hey, dude, you're gonna have to like show me something, like, before I go in there head first, like, and he's probably like 7 at the time. You're gonna have to show me a little something, I was watching class, but I was in and out,
Yeah.
whatever. And I say, like, once I signed up and went to my first class, man, I just never stopped showing up after that. And just every day.
Did you have anything before in your life where it was equivalent to jiu-jitsu like that?
I think about that sometimes, and honestly, man, there's nothing that comes close to jiu-jitsu. I've never done anything as long or as consistent as I've done jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is like that, the first thing that I've ever stuck with, like, with my whole life. I've played like a little bit of sports in high school, like nothing crazy. Like I played like water polo and swam a little, you know, not at like the highest level, you know, just like kind of just recreational stuff. And, you know, growing up, I didn't play any youth sports, anything like so, you know, no like natural athletic ability, no like inclination to like want to like try to do martial arts but it just fell into my lap and it was like the best thing to ever happen. It's so cliche to say, but it's one of the best things that ever happened in my life.
How long have you been doing it now?
So January would be 5 years.
5 years?
5 years.
Bro, it feels like you've been doing it for decades. Are you kidding?
I think but 5 years, but this is like, what that might be is just probably my like mat experience. My mat time is just like, it's like every day. Now it's like twice a day. I teach like 2 kids classes every day. So like,
whoa.
So I think it's just like 5 years, but like compacted into like,
yeah.
I took like fast route, you know, fast track.
Yeah.
Ooh, fast track.
Fast track.
Nice.
I that's incredible to me because you didn't have any kind of athletic ability beforehand.
No.
And watching you roll and rolling with you, I would have never assumed that at all. That's incredible, man.
Thank you.
I don't know if it's good genes or just intensity training or anything like that.
No way. I might have like the worst genes out of like all of my siblings. Like my sibling below me is like 6'3", like athletic. Everything he does, he's amazing at. Me, I'm just like I don't know if you've seen me with like my shirt off. I have like the body of like a JV girl's point guard. You know, like it's very like, is that where, you know?
No.
Like walked outside with like my shirt off. My mom's like, you ever thought about like doing some push-ups? Everyone's like, ooh.
You don't need to do push-ups, man. Dude, my brothers are a lot taller than me too. They have the better physique genes for sure.
Younger brothers?
Younger brothers, yeah. It's insane.
Thanks, Mom.
But we got the looks, we got the smarts.
Yes.
Yeah, we got everything else.
Exactly.
They needed something.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I tell them.
I tell them. Like, hey, have him tell a knock-knock joke. You can't do it.
Dude, I want to get one of the reasons I'm doing jiu-jitsu is just to take down my youngest brother.
Yes.
Because he's so much bigger than me and so much stronger.
Yes. Mine was, you know what? I have an older brother.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I would ever test him
Yeah.
or anything like that, but I feel like now there's this like mutual thing between us that, you know, if we were to ever like get into a scuffle,
Yeah.
not that I'm winning, but I'm not losing.
Right.
You know?
Right. That's really funny. How many siblings do you have?
Oh man, this is crazy. You ready?
Yeah.
Everybody strapped in?
Yeah.
There's 9 of us. There's 9.
You're being serious. I remember you told me that in class, and I couldn't believe.
Yeah.
I thought you were joking.
Yeah, nine siblings. Yeah. 9 siblings.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys all love each other?
It's all love. 100%.
That's awesome.
100%. It's all love. I think maybe like growing up it was kind of chaos, but
Yeah.
you know what? It's a blessing, man.
Oh, that's
it's
great.
It's so awesome to have, you know, like a little tribe, you know?
Yeah.
You have just good people. Good
That's
guys.
awesome,
They're
man.
good eggs. They're good eggs.
The good eggs.
They're
I like
good
that.
eggs.
And you said you're not the oldest.
No.
Oh,
I
yeah,
have an older brother and an older sister, or 2 older sisters and an older brother.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And you love your mom. That's great.
She's cool.
She's cool.
Just kidding, Mom. Sorry about that.
And what's you said you weren't really born in LA?
No.
Yeah.
No, so I actually just recently am like new to like this whole like LA thing. I pretty much grew up living in Vegas, spent some time in like Riverside and you know, Orange County, you know, moving around there.
Yeah.
Moved a lot when I was young. But coming back, so this year, thinking about less than 5 days, it's going to be 1 year since I moved back out here to California, you know, kind of like this LA area. So
Yeah.
So 1 year out here in LA, learning the ropes, kind of like what's going on, and it's very cool, very interesting. Yeah.
Do you like it so far? The LA vibe?
I try to be as real to myself as possible, saying that I think this first year, maybe year and a half, might just be like this like honeymoon phase where everything's like new and bright and everything. But you know what? I enjoy it, and I know that like, you know, things happen out here. You know, it goes in waves. You know, sometimes you'll meet some good people. Sometimes, you know, you might run into some, you know, other people who might not have your best interest at heart. But, you know, just being mindful of that. But can't say anything bad. Can't say that it's like been bad. All the people that I've come across so far have been very, very great.
Yeah.
Very helpful. You know, you mentioned James. Like,
Yeah.
it's amazing. You know,
Yeah.
such a like positive impact in my life for such a short period of time that he's been in there.
Yeah.
You know, so.
That's also one of the reasons why I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Just to at least, I need to beat him at least once. Because he throws me around like a rag doll constantly.
Okay. I got you. We'll get you there.
Yeah. And I don't like it. And it's purely from an egotistical standpoint. Yes. And so we gotta work on that.
Is James cracked at Jiu-Jitsu?
Dude. Okay. James is weirdly good.
Okay. What do you mean weirdly good?
I don't know. Have you ever been thrown around by another dude? And
no.
That's the beautiful thing about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Like, it puts you in check so quickly. Yeah. You know? And so whenever you're friends with a person, like really good friends, and then that friend can do whatever they want. Yeah, right. You're like, well, no, that's not going to work for me. I got to be able to beat the shit out of him sometimes too, you know? And so in a nice, healthy way. When I say that, it's never like antagonistic. It's like, I don't know. It's like this camaraderie kind of way, if that makes sense.
I think, like, especially the group that we formed over at Little Tokyo that we're forming now is like, that's in my head when I think of like, what is jiu-jitsu? What is this thing? You know, I think that what we're building at Little Tokyo, that's what jiu-jitsu is for me, you know, personally. This team, this family. I had someone come up to me last week and they're like, you know what's crazy is that this Little Tokyo every Sunday at 6 p.m., you know, like in the evening time, and they could literally be doing anything else. They're like, it feels like it's starting to feel like a family.
Yeah.
They're like, we're all, you know, getting together, we're rolling together, you know, because you could find great jiu-jitsu all over the place nowadays, right? It's not like how it was probably 30 years ago or whatever. You can find great jiu-jitsu all over, but what sets where you find your home is do you vibe with the people? Is the gym your vibe? Is it, you know, do you trust your teacher, your training partners, all that stuff goes into consideration. It's not just like, all right, I got to learn jiu-jitsu from like the best person in the world, from like the greatest lineage or whatever. It's like, you know, do you have good people around you? People are going to take care of you. People that have your best interest in heart, that want to see you grow, and you know, that you want to choke out sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's like this like primal thing that comes out, but we call it like controlled chaos, right? In like the best form. Jiu-jitsu is just controlled chaos.
Dude, Robbie, there's a guy in this room that I want to choke out constantly.
Who? I don't know who it is.
No, not you, Robbie.
It must be right. It can't be me.
He's been, like I said before, he's been booking a lot of acting roles, and so he's changed.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You've changed,
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're just working all the time now.
Is this LA thing that happens?
Yeah,
this changes.
He's turned LA. This is LA Peyton.
LA Peyton.
Oh,
LA
gotcha.
Man. Okay,
I see how it is.
Cool.
Oh my
LA
gosh.
Peyton.
We'll get a sign behind you.
Dude, we gotta make merch and just have the LA version of Peyton on a shirt.
It's got like a Bape shirt on.
Is that my stance that it got?
Mouth open.
Oh my gosh.
Yeezys.
Yeah, definitely Yeezys.
for
Definitely.
Sure.
Are we allowed to say that now? We might get
I was
canceled.
about to say, I was like,
what?
are we gonna even get our hands on Yeezys?
Oof.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't think you can buy them anymore.
I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought they were ugly.
There we go.
Yeah, you can say that now.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been saying it since the beginning.
No, I know.
I don't like Kanye West from the way back when. That's me.
Yep.
That's me.
I feel you. I
could tell.
feel you, right? Like that. Saw this shirt. It said, "I miss the old Kanye." I almost bought it. I was like, "Oof, that's a hot piece right now."
That is.
So.
That's what's it called? Controversial piece. Controversial. I don't know.
Make it up as we go.
Yeah.
Make it up. As we go.
Comment below. Let us know which one you think it is. Oh man. So. What happened?
Sorry, no, we're good.
We're good? Okay. I've been really enjoying the class. One of my favorite things that we do in there is the drilling, which I could drill probably for an hour, just the same movement, just because I don't know them at all right now.
Wow.
So, and I've really enjoyed the drilling because I think that repetition really puts it in to my body more, where I'm more comfortable. Like the warm-up drill, I'll give you an example, you know, where you just push the knees and you step out to the side, right? First time I did that, I was like, oh my God. It's like I had no control over my body. I'm doing something I've never done before, and it's only for a minute, and I'm winded by the end of it. And I'm like, I'm like running. I'm training to do a marathon, and I'm winded from this little warm-up exercise. God knows what's going to happen when we actually start doing the movements.
Yes.
No, I like the challenge of it. I like feeling like a white belt at something. It's an adventure. It's a brand new territory. I don't know. Do you still feel like that as a purple belt?
Oh man, yeah. There's times when actually we call it like valleys, right, in jiu-jitsu, because you're as long as you're showing up, you're always getting better, right, is what we say. But you're gonna have times when it's just like your stuff's just not. It's just not coming out. It's not flowing out of you as smoothly, or maybe you're trying something new, and you know you're like running into these roadblocks. But what's great about those feelings is that there's always like an upswing afterwards. So I was just getting out of that like a couple weeks ago. I was like, dude, man, it's like everything I'm doing is getting stuffed. Everything I'm doing is getting blocked, you know. But I was able to like take a step back and remember like, oh yeah, this is good though, because I'm gonna get past this block. And it's going to be an upswing, and I'm going to some small detail. Maybe someone's going to give me a small detail, or maybe I'll figure out this small detail, and it's going to just, oh, that's what it was. That's what I was missing this whole time.
Yeah.
So that white belt feeling is very good to carry with you, right? Because I feel like it's easy to get sucked in, you know, after you've been doing it for a long time or been doing it for a while, to just like show up and always play your A game and like smash everybody or smash all the new people or whatever. But like you get that. You have to like humble yourself and like, you know, check yourself and remind yourself like, dude, the only difference between like a white belt and a black belt is like the black belt just never stops showing up. That's all it is, you know.
I like that a lot. I've also been having a lot more fun too, especially the last class. I've remembered like, oh yeah, this is supposed to be fun.
Yes.
And so finding moments of humor in it. There was one where I forget his name, super nice guy, but he's like so much heavier than me, so much heavier. And at one point, he's like on top of me, and I'm in guard, right? Or I'm just trying to get him, just keep him off of me, right? And I just start laughing. I'm like, dude, you're so heavy. And he started laughing too, because it's like this honest, truthful moment just between us where he's much bigger than me, and I'm like going, you know, and he's just like totally just letting his weight be on me. It was a lot of fun. And then, yeah, we just, there was a couple other roles I had where it was just like we're not like laughing during the whole thing, but we're smiling. We're like, oh, that was good. Oh, nice, nice work, nice. And I feel like when you do that, you don't get as tired. It's weird, man.
You notice that you get an extra gear, is what we call it. You get an extra gear to keep on going, right? 'Cause
right.
When it's hard and it's horrible, it's easy to take a break afterwards, right? Or to feel like you need to take a break afterwards. But when you're having a good time, you're having fun with your friends, you're smiling, they ask you, hey, you want to go another one? Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
So that's like that extra gear that like we're talking about. So
I love finding that the extra gear, or you think your gas tank is empty, you know, and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I have some more energy, right?
Yes.
So recently I was I usually just do the beginner class with the drills, and I might do like one free roll with somebody else. Other than that, I'm like done. You know, I'm sore, my back's hurting a little bit. But this one day I free rolled with Han in class. He's a great rolling partner.
Shout out, Han.
Shout out. And then my friend Hattie came, and he demolished me as well. And I was like, I'm done. Like, I don't have anything left, right? And then here comes James, and he grabs me by my gi, and he's like, come on, we're going to roll. The timer didn't even start. He was being rude. I'll say that to your face, James. The timer didn't even start. You just started beating the shit out of me. Yeah, that's disrespectful. From Robbie, that's disrespectful. You owe me a donut and a coffee at Cafe Dulce.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robbie. I need your back on this.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Sorry, James.
And, you know, he starts just submitting me immediately, right?
Okay.
And I'm just like, tap, 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 tap. He's like, I didn't even get you there. I'm like, dude, I can't breathe. Like, my heart's going to... And then finally something snapped, and I'm like, all right, you want it? Let's go. And so, like, I start kind of having fun. Like, okay,
Yeah.
I have nothing in the gas tank. We'll see what happens. And then there were like these really cool moments that happened where I was like, oh, I got some more energy. And then I just flatline, right? And then go back to it and then flatline, go back. So there was this so much more energy I had that I thought I was like, I don't have anything left in me, which is such a cool feeling to have. Now, I can't do that every weekend or else I'll die. I was super sore for a while after that. But it was just, it's just a lot of fun whenever you find those pieces of you didn't think existed.
Exactly. And I love those moments because I think about them a lot, whether it's on my drive home or the day after training or, before training. I'm like, man, if I would have stopped right there, I would have got back into my car, told myself, wow, that was a good day of training or whatever. But if James wasn't there to grab you, right? Like not even like, hey, Wesam, you wanna roll one more? You had the option to opt out. He just grabbed you and said, we're doing this.
Yeah.
Like, so you needed James in that moment to show that you had that extra gear. Like, that's why I think the training partners are so important. Like, having good training partners is, oh man.
And it's
Number
safe.
one.
It's safe too.
Safe,
That's the thing.
yes.
Like James wasn't, when I say he was smashing me or submitting me, he wasn't like injuring me either.
Yes.
It was all controlled. And that's what I love about it. I can go to that extreme place and know that there are plenty of safety nets involved.
Yes.
And you said something in the last class. I don't know if you remember this, but you said, in order to control others, you have to control yourself. And I love that so much because that's where the secret lies in having long-term training without injuries. Yeah.
100%. Because, whatever brings people to jiu-jitsu, right? Some people come in for like the self-defense part of it. Some people come in like, with the sport aspect, or maybe some people are somewhere in between, or just something to break a sweat, just for their workout. But whatever it is, whatever avenue that you choose or pick, you have to learn the self-control, and there's a learning curve when you start because, you just don't know anything. But the sooner that you can learn that, okay, I need to, have self-control and be able to control my body, my breathing, my everything, before I can like try to control and even eventually submit somebody. Like, it's just this process that like you can expedite the process by understanding that one, or trying to understand that one to the best you can, and then build it from there.
Yeah.
Because I remember that was really big for me too, because I remember I was the same way. Like, I was gassed after like the first, just like running around the mat for a little bit. I was just, oh man, we're gonna roll after, or we're gonna do technique after, but you have the in your head like, okay, control your breathing, control yourself, learn the body movements, when you're doing drills, moving with a purpose, and then after that you realize, oh, okay, now once I'm in control, when I'm going with somebody else, I know that I have myself in control. Now I just have to focus on trying to control them, and then it's just, does that kind of make sense? Kind of, sort of.
Oh, absolutely, 100%, man.
Right on.
There's been something else that's come up through the training that I forgot about, that I remember doing when I was sparring in Taekwondo. So I used to do Taekwondo for a while, and I got to black belt, which was awesome.
Heck yeah.
And we used to do sparring, but the sparring is more points-based sparring, And so back when I used to do it, I used to be a lot lighter, and so I was a lot quicker, and so it was like more like a game for me. So I'm like, oh, okay, I know I can get in, and then distance control. Okay, get in, and then distance control. Okay, then like I'd bait them in, and then get in, and then leave.
Yeah.
And so I rediscovered that a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, okay, I could still do that, like, bait them, like put the leg out, and they keep getting they like to get that leg. Okay, maybe if I just put it out there a little, and, it starts becoming more fun, and it's, I don't know, I get excited about that because I don't know, man, that's something really special when whatever you're doing, whether it's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, acting, any other kind of craft, painting, whatever you do, when you start finding the fun aspect of it, it changes the game so much,
Yes.
And so, yeah, it was just really fun rediscovering that.
100%. Like, they even call, sometimes it's referred to as like human chess. Like, you're like, there's like baits and flanks, and like, leading someone to this way, thinking they're going to do it, but with knowing, like, in the back of your mind with an intention that you're going to like go through like the back, or it's just like, so interesting. Jiu-jitsu gets very deep,
Yeah.
very, very deep in that aspect. But I guess at the core level of it, as long as you're having fun, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's so much fun doing.
So what would you recommend to somebody who's never done jiu-jitsu, never done any kind of sport,
Mm-hmm.
and they're listening to this and like, okay, I'm kind of curious to check it out.
Mhm.
What would you recommend for them to taking those first steps to joining the correct class for them?
Okay, for the correct class, I would always say don't throw yourself into the fire. Start with like a fundamentals class, like a beginner's class. That way you're surrounded around people who are also around the same level as you, but at least you're getting instruction that is, that's going to help everybody there, as opposed to like having your first class be like some advanced technique that you're just trying to play catch up the whole time. You wanna have like good fundamentals and be around people who are all around the same level as you. That way you guys can all kind of work together in a way and build yourselves up together. I think is important, because if you're this small fish in a big pond, like a white belt amongst like very high level people, I think though there is a lot of like growth to be done there, like a lot of like learning and stuff like that, it's gonna take a long time for you to like kind of like understand what's going on, just because you're kind of just like fighting to survive in some cases that I've seen. Whereas when we start with a group of people that are around the same around the same level, and then we build them up together, and then we bring in the next class, and then we build those guys up together. So I think like a fundamental beginner class is like a great way to start, get into jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Find a good gym, good instruction, some people that you vibe with, right? You'll get great jiu-jitsu all over the place, especially here in Southern California. Find a place that vibes with you, and
Yeah.
you'll be in an all right direction.
Yeah.
Also, go to Little Tokyo Fight Club, where I teach.
Yeah.
6 p.m.
What I love about that, there's a no asshole policy, which I love.
Yeah. Yeah, that gets checked very, very quick in jiu-jitsu, at least like in the style, or like in the gym that I came up in. And it's really cool to like see it carry over to like Little Tokyo too, where like if you think you're gonna go in there and just like chest out and like super thing, like there's high level people there's high level people on the mats who will eat them alive. Like no, he's great. Peyton is great. LA Peyton is awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
LA Peyton is awesome. But yeah, humbleness in jiu-jitsu is huge.
Yeah.
Just especially in the beginning, just very humble. It'll help.
It parallels to everything in life. That's why I love martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
You zone in on those core principles which you can apply to everything in your life and then outside of life. Mm-hmm. Have you read of Musashi's Book of Five Rings?
No, I have heard of it though.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's the type of book where he went into the forest and he wrote this book, and he had won 60 life and death duels since the age of 13 as a samurai.
Jeez.
And so he wrote this book to figure out why he was so good at what he did.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the Book of Five Rings. And I promise you, if you read, it's a short read, like super easy to read. You can read it in like an hour or something like that.
Okay.
The stuff in that book applies to everything in life. It applies to jiu-jitsu. It applies to opening up a restaurant. It applies to acting too. The Book of Air, which is the last chapter in it, specifically talks about being everywhere and nowhere at once. Being able to be flexible to go this way or that way. Don't be stuck in one thing. Don't be stuck in one mindset. Be open to do everything. That way you're not hindered by anything. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's precisely like acting, You want to be ready for whatever your scene partner gives you because you want to react truthfully from it. Mm-hmm. Same thing with like jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
Whatever, you don't want to be stuck in like, okay, I only go on the left side here.
Yes.
I only pass on the left side, which that is my favorite side right now because I'm comfortable there.
That was last week's class, right? Those 3 things, being able to like go left and go right.
Right.
And when the first one fails, like, first one usually always fails.
Right.
Second one usually fails. Third one might just work, but some people just get so fixated on that one that they don't, want to open up enough to try different things. Not knowing that the third one, is what's going to get you to where you want to go. You just want to do one to one side. And
Yeah. It forces you to change.
force, exactly.
Otherwise, there's consequences.
100%. Just like in life. See, jiu-jitsu, it's a
We're
metaphor.
so
It's a
smart.
metaphor for life, man.
No, we're
That's
smart. That's the thing.
Jiu-jitsu's simple. People make it complicated.
Yeah. Okay. How do you mitigate injuries? Because you train so much. So how do you mitigate injuries? What do? Do you take supplements? Do you just know when to go hard, when to go soft? Do you just stop one day and I'm not rolling today?
A lot of it's in this hand right here. You go head, chest, cross this way, and just pray. Praying for no injuries. That's one. I'm actually crazy that you mentioned that. I'm actually going through an injury right now.
What do you got?
Bruised my rib. Same side that I'd popped around a year ago. But I'd say just injuries happen. Injuries happen. We can control them as much as we want. But it's jiu-jitsu. We're not playing ping pong. We're wrestling. We're moving around. We're submission grappling. So you just do your best to not put yourself in situations that you feel like are a little shady. With partners that maybe might not be the safest.
Yeah.
That was a big thing last week. That I had heard that the week that I was gone, that one of our partners got hurt. Which is inevitable. We're practicing technique. We're all semi new, so we don't have that body awareness. But last week's class was all about control, right? Controlling yourself and being good training partners. So the person on bottom is restraining themselves as the top person is imposing their will. Mm-hmm. So learning to be comfortable being uncomfortable is a big thing in jiu-jitsu. And, learning how to be a good training partner. Some people like to say, there's dick moves and there's not dick moves. I think that there's, I think dick moves exist.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw that out there. I think dick moves do exist. But if you don't know, how are you supposed to know? So that's where the teacher kind of, or the whoever, or the older person, or someone who's been around a little bit longer, that's their place to come in and explain to the new people. Because if they don't know, then especially when you first start jiu-jitsu, it's like fight or flight. You're trying to just fight for your life. You're just I don't know anything, but I know that I don't like being on bottom.
Yeah.
I don't know anything, but I know I don't like it when this grown man is behind me choking me out.
Yeah.
Something so you're just trying to fight to survive, trying to fight for. So you're doing anything, peeling fingers, which is not okay, stuff like that.
I think the start to self-improvement comes from awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And an easy way to build up your awareness is to start with a physical awareness of your own body. Mm. That's why I like yoga so much, because that's it. It's just you versus you. There's nobody else you're going against. So you really have to understand how your body works. You're in positions that at first seem tight, uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. You utilize your core a lot, and you're breathing tremendous. You're concentrating the whole time on your breath work. Mm. And I think if you develop enough physical awareness, you understand what is nice for your body, what isn't nice for your body. And with martial arts, when you start incorporating another human being, okay, there's another body in front of me. Mm-hmm. I know that when they put their elbow into my rib, that doesn't feel great. So whenever I'm in a position and I have my elbow in their rib, maybe I want to ease off a little bit because they seem nice and I don't want to be a jerk. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So now you're developing an awareness for other people, some spatial awareness, and all that starts building. Mm-hmm. It's just incredible because some people don't even have not a lot of that coming into it. Right.
Non-existent.
I'll give you an example of what I didn't know. I honestly didn't know, and I was rolling with James. Mm-hmm. Maybe he deserved it a little bit.
Sorry, James, again. Mm-hmm.
I'm not sorry.
Okay.
I put my forearm into his neck, right here, and I was like, "Wait a minute, is this allowed?" I asked him, "Is this allowed?" And he's like, "Sure," but I didn't know if it was allowed or not, and I'm guessing it's not. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's not allowed from your reaction.
It's allowed has a big space in allowed, right?
Okay.
There's. Will you have very many jiu-jitsu friends afterwards? Probably not. But did he cry?
James?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Good.
He didn't
So you
cry.
won.
No,
So you won.
He
I'm
flipped
just
me
kidding.
over
No.
so quickly.
Just kidding.
No, I see what you're saying.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's not technically unallowed, but do you want it done to you and that
Exactly.
kind of thing, or are you training for a specific self-defense thing?
Yes.
What's the reasoning behind you putting the forearm into their
Mm-hmm.
windpipe?
Exactly, because then if we didn't have these kind of like boundaries or something, these unwritten rules in jiu-jitsu, then what would, separate, like, let's shake hands, knuckles, and like I go straight for like the eye gouge, so, I mean, that's like what would happen. Some person would try to like defend themselves and be like, well, that's what's gonna happen in the streets, or like we shake hands, knuckles, and I go straight for like the throat choke like this on
Yeah.
somebody, to try to make him tap. Maybe the eye gouge is a little extreme, but the throat choke like this is probably
Yeah.
me just getting on top of someone and going like this to their
Mhm.
neck. Some people might argue like, what if this happened in the streets? What if, I thought, this is a self-defense martial art. You should be able to defend yourself, with all things like that. It's like, yes, but there has to be a communication amongst your training partner for, like you said, what are we doing here? Are we here to practice, our technique and showcase our technique to each other and, share jiu-jitsu? Are we here to get ready for like a competition, which has its own rule sets and, boundaries? Or are we here to learn, like practice our like self-defense stuff? Like, if I'm at Trader Joe's and somebody comes up behind me, and grabs my waist, like something like that, having answers to stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you just have to I think a big part of it comes with communication with your partner though, because like I said, there's so many different avenues that jiu-jitsu can go or goes in. You just have to find yours and,
Absolutely. There's a great story. Do you know Jocko Willink and Dean Lister?
Ooh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So they rolled together at I think it's called Victory MMA somewhere in San Diego. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. My dream, one of my dreams. I guess I wouldn't say a dream. That sounds so like romanticized to a certain extent.
Mhm.
I hope one day I get to roll with Jocko. Just one
Oh, that's
5-minute roll.
Oh,
You know what
that's
I
so
mean?
possible for sure.
Yeah. I'd be thrilled. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because his books and everything, they've really impacted my life in a positive way.
Same.
Oh, great. So
Same.
you're familiar with the books?
Yes,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
awesome. Great.
Oh man, the whole discipline equals freedom. That stuff was so influential for me, like at a young, like a very interesting age. Where
Yeah.
like your life could go this way, your life could go that way. But like having a book like that in my life was very influential.
I've it's one of those things where I don't know anybody who's ever implemented discipline in that kind of way
Mm-hmm.
had negative effects on their life.
Mm-hmm.
So proof is in the pudding kind of thing.
Exactly.
You're
Exactly.
either going to get a great improvement or just a little bit of improvement. Either way, it's an improvement.
It's still improvement.
Yeah,
Right.
so
exactly.
it's-
And like on the other card of that is like no one ever smoked crack and was like, yeah, my life got better.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
the proof is in the pudding.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
so it's like-
We just
it's
went
like-
on the most extreme.
we went Jocko and crack smoking.
Yeah,
like,
that's very far extremes. I love that. Anyway, what the reason I
Oh,
bring
yeah,
that up
sorry,
is
sorry.
no. By the way, this show goes on so many tangents. It's great. I have a good friend. His name is Isaiah, and he's he's been on the show a few times. I've been trying to get him to come to Sunday Night Rolls, and he's trying to switch his work schedule. Plus, he has a kid and that kind of stuff. But the reason why is because I want to choke him out, and I want to like harass him while we roll.
Yes.
He's like a brother to me.
Yes.
And I know that sounds insane, but like I want to be a bully to him in like a
In
not
the
like
most controlled way possible.
right. And I remember this story where Dean Lister is, he competed in like some mixed martial arts, I
Yes,
believe, like
yes.
not tournaments, but like UFC style, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it's Bellator. Anyway, it was like kind of like that.
Mhm.
And anyway, so they're rolling one day, Dean Lister and Jocko, and Dean is literally dripping sweat into Jocko's eye, and he's just like and Jocko can't move, can't get out of it, and
Yeah.
he's just doing it on purpose,
Mhm.
and that makes me so happy because that's the kind of stuff I want to do to my friends. you know?
Yes, exactly. Jiu-jitsu exposes so much. You realize this. I had this false sense.
He's
right?
like,
He's like,
I know I
L-
sound like
LA
a crazy,
Payton.
right?
LA Payton's next.
LA Payton is next. Yeah, I don't know. It's just fun, like to do that to your friends.
Yeah.
I like seeing my friends in pain. If you've watched any of the Guys Nights episodes, you'll see.
Right.
Why I'm laughing is I know you would be thrilled to absolutely beat the shit out of me. in this kind of environment.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not, obviously, again, disclaimer, not where you can't walk away, where you're completely
I
fine
know.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like have you in between my legs and just squeeze.
Right.
Yeah.
I know nothing would make you happy.
And just playing like a little drum on the top of your head. Do you know how happy that makes me? That's weird how happy that makes me.
Hey, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
What is this class about?
This is. I promise jiu-jitsu is fun. It's great. It's for everybody.
What I love about the Little Tokyo Fight Club, there are people and like all genders are there. You know what I mean? It's not just a bunch of guys rolling around. There are girls there too, and the experience levels all vary. The body types all vary, and everybody's having a good time. I've never seen anybody leave that place upset. You know, everybody has smiles on their faces. Yes. Bro, it's helped with my anxiety and stress so much.
Nice. Very good. Dude, they say that jiu-jitsu it's of course it's like physically, exhausting and like, helps you physically. But the mental clarity that you get after jiu-jitsu, like you say, you always regret when you don't go to class, right? Like maybe that drive there, you're like, I don't really want to go to jiu-jitsu or whatever, life happens. But one thing is for sure is like, how many times have you done a class and been like, you know what, I wish I really didn't do that class? It's like never. Like everybody's always like stoked afterwards. Never. Maybe you might have not wanted to come, but you'll have a lot more regret if you didn't come. I hear that like, oh, I didn't go last week and I'm bummed, but I can't wait for next week. And it's like, good. It should be.
I used to do these pre-dawn runs up at Wisdom Tree, and I would feel always the same way. I would regret always if I didn't go, but if I didn't want to go and I went, I never regretted going. Yes. I always felt better afterwards.
Yeah. Even though it's going to be hard, or it's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
You're pushing yourself, but it's always worth it.
So something that parallels with yoga and jiu-jitsu, but jiu-jitsu is a faster track to this point. Yoga takes a little bit of more time to get there. Is the clearing of the fog of life that creates all the anxiety and stress. So the zone, the golden zone, I call it, is when you're literally focused on one thing. Everything else in your life doesn't exist for that moment. And you're in this wonderful state of flow, like a flow state.
Yeah.
And with yoga, it's you can get it through like a really intense breathing exercises. Maybe you're like 50 minutes into a class, you're dripping sweat, but you're doing this great breath work and you're just focused on breath and you feel invigorated. You feel like with every breath you're getting more powerful and you're really zoned in. It's like almost tunnel vision, right? And with jiu-jitsu, that happens super quick with another person there trying to choke you. You're not thinking about, oh, I've got to get my car fixed. Oh, I've got girlfriend problems. You know what I mean? That doesn't exist in that moment.
There's no space for that.
No.
For thinking, yes.
Yeah, and that's one of the cool things about it. It's just a fast track to that state. And I think that's what helps whenever you forget about all that stuff, you focus on something else, and it's an extreme physical exertion. I think a lot of stuff happens in your body chemically and mentally that gets you into that nice, like, okay, my problems exist, but I'm not the problem.
Yeah, exactly. You hear so many times too, like people that are, they're going through like maybe like depression or maybe just like a hard time mentally. They're in their own head, but when they get their body moving, when they start sweating, when they eat, like you said, something chemically happens, or I'm not very well versed in it, but something happens to your body when you start getting moving, you start exercising, you start moving around. Like it's almost like no space for that stuff to exist in your mind because you're too busy trying to focus on your breath. Trying to focus on, okay, you keep moving forward, I think jiu-jitsu is a really good way to do that. You hear a lot of people who are struggling with depression and then they find jiu-jitsu, and jiu-jitsu, kind of brings them out of that, because you can do jiu-jitsu by yourself, but then you're kind of just rolling on the floor wearing pajamas. You need a partner, you need people with you, you need a team, and you create a bond. I mean, we're like you know, like you said, you're just like sweating into like another person's mouth. There's touch. There's so much of this stuff that I think people need, you know, and they can get it daily at any time. Sunday, 6 p.m. at Little Tokyo.
Yeah. Seriously, come by.
Come by. We'll sweat in your mouth.
They have extra gis, extra belts. It's totally safe. It's at the Yabe Seo. It's a little market, like a Korean market. It's in the Little Tokyo area in downtown.
Yes.
There's street parking, and I think you park in the building.
Yeah, there's a structure. If you were to hug the building, if you just hug the building, there's a parking structure in the back that you could pay for also.
Yeah.
You know. So.
We'll leave all the details if you're watching on YouTube in the description below for everything.
100%. Yeah.
Dude.
Dude.
Don't forget at the end of this episode, we're gonna ask Robbie something.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And I've been dreaming about this moment.
I know you have.
Dreaming about
I know
this.
you
moment.
have.
No.
Anyway, Robbie, why don't you tell our viewers
Love you, bud.
how good I am in class? No, I'm
He
kidding.
is my protege. We're gonna make him a world champion.
Oh, dude.
Damn.
You know what one of my goals is?
To compete.
Yeah, I want to do one tournament at least,
Yes.
and I want to win gold.
Okay.
That's my goal.
Good. I love that.
Yeah.
I 100% back that mentality that you have. That strong will to throw yourself into the fire like that.
Yeah.
Because, man, that's awesome. That's awesome.
And I want to do it in LA because two things. It makes me uncomfortable. Like, I'm nervous to do it. I'll admit it. I'm nervous to do that.
Yes.
But I like that. I like knowing that I'm going to be tested mentally, physically. I'm going to go against people who are probably better than me, more than likely. But I want to be into that competitive state. I like that. There's something, dude. Okay, I'm getting pumped up. The caffeine just hit in. Okay,
Let's go.
Here we go. There are only a handful of times in my life where I felt like I was like literally fighting for my family. And that fires me up so much. So it's when I've tested for like series regular roles, because my goal is to like take care of, and thank God I'm taking care of my mom and dad, and like I want to take care of my extended family through my career, my acting work. So when I go to an audition, it's not just, oh, this is my passion, like I'm fighting for them, you know? And so these tests where I'm like, okay, this is it. This is the final like audition. You know, you got your audition, call back with producers, and then a screen test. That's how it works. Dude, that pumps me up knowing that I'm not just fighting for myself. I'm fighting for the people I love, right? And that's what I like imagining sometimes when I'm rolling. Like, okay, I got to survive. I might not beat this guy, but I got to survive for my family, right? And I'm still doing it in a controlled manner. That's the cool thing, right? Yes. You're harnessing all that energy into a very specific state. That's so cool to do in life as a human being, as this thing that exists in life, to take all this crazy energy and purposely, with intention and conviction, express it in a certain way. Does that make sense? Did I sound like a crazy person
No,
just
not
now?
at all. 100%.
Okay, all right.
That was, yeah.
Okay.
It's great to see. How long have you been doing jiu-jitsu? Would you say you started with me?
A couple months.
Okay, so you started with me.
Yeah.
For you to get that within a couple months is amazing. It's great. You're going in the right direction, because no. Keep going. I'm gonna keep going. I've got a couple more for you. But man, that's that stuff that it's not impossible to teach, but it's a little bit more difficult, or maybe takes a little bit more time to teach with people if they don't have that already. You know, I think, you know, with your yoga background, even teaching yoga.
Yeah, teaching yoga, and then I used to teach taekwondo to mostly kids and stuff like that.
So already like a martial artist, you know, you have an idea of, you know, kind of how things go inside of a gym. And yeah, dude, that's really good to see, because, you know, I think of maybe like myself, how did I understand this? How did I get it? Luckily I had good people, you know, above me, like family members who had done jiu-jitsu that were like they're pretty like OGs to the game.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I came in, they're like, okay, this is what you do, this is what you don't do, this is how you get better, this is how you do, this is the
Yeah.
But I think like if I didn't have that, dude, I would just be like lost in the sauce. I love that phrase, lost in the sauce. Just like kind of just okay, and then you just kind of figure it out as you go. A whole lot of trial, but a whole lot of error. But I was able to kind of bypass that by having good people around me. A lot of good older people around me to guide me in their way. And you come from like a solid background of like teaching, not only doing martial arts, but like teaching martial arts too. And like this side of yoga that like, there's a lot of like parallels I think with jiu-jitsu and yoga. I haven't done it, but a lot of people that do jiu-jitsu also do yoga, and they say the parallels between it are so very, very, very close.
I went through the training program last year at Yoga Noho, and I'm not like a super pious person, but I'm very spiritual. I have a connection with my creator and that sort of thing. So yoga, the definition of it, one of the original definitions is union with your creator. And so there's this like really deep spiritual practice that's associated with yoga that I never knew before. And there are universal principles and like gems of wisdom that I'm like, oh man, yeah, this is okay. No wonder I was so pulled towards this to begin with. Okay, this makes sense now. And I think for people who try different things in life, not just, who are not lost in the sauce, go do like archery, go do, a recreational frisbee league, do a yoga class, do, I don't know, pottery, painting, do stuff, experience things. You might do it like once or twice and that's it. Okay, that's fine. Maybe you find something else that you're obsessed with, but then you'll start to find similarities in everything, like parallels that transcend from one thing to the other. Book of Masashi, Book of Five Rings. He talks about that. He's like, you'll find the way. Oh man, I gotta figure out the quote. Let's see. Musashi quote, the way in all things. Let's see if I can figure it out. If you know the way broadly, you will see it in everything. Something to think about.
Like that.
Something to digest.
I like that. It's makes me think of like as you're bringing that up, that when you try, you're able to like bring these experiences, you can like relate jiu-jitsu to life, right?
Yeah.
And one thing that helped me out the most is this white belt mentality, knowing that like if you try anything new, unless you're like a natural stud or you have like a talent in it, like a natural born talent, usually you suck at it at first, right? But it's because you don't know anything, right? You're just a white belt. You just started, right? When you're a white belt, you tie your belt goofy. You show up, uncoordinated and everything. But how you get better at stuff is you just keep on showing up. You keep on, applying yourself, and, repetition and just like consistency. Consistency is like so important in jiu-jitsu, right? You can have 15, 20 years of experience, but if you're not like consistently out there, 3-4 times a week doing it, like you're gonna lose that edge, right? You have all that knowledge, but like you're not sharpening the blade, So I think that bringing that white belt mentality into everything that I've done has helped me out in life, right? Because whether it's a new job or like a new place, I know in the beginning I'm gonna suck, but if I come back tomorrow, I'm gonna suck a little less, and then suck a little less, and then finally you're gonna figure out how things work, and then you move on. Maybe after like 6 months of consistency, now you're like a white belt with 1 stripe, a white belt with 2 stripes, but you stick with it enough, be a black belt at something, So that's like the mentality that I try to bring with anything that I do. I was even working at like Hawaiian Airlines, and I was like thinking about that. I was like, I suck at throwing bags. I suck at throwing luggage. I'm like the worst luggage thrower. But I was like, every day I was like, I'm gonna try to beat my record. Next day I'm gonna throw 36 bags, 37, 30. And not to flex, but I was a pretty good bag thrower at Hawaiian Airlines. I didn't get awarded. I didn't get any awards. But
wait.
But I was. I was
And
top
before
dog
we
over there.
dive into that,
Okay.
we gotta say goodbye to Adobe Radio.
All right. Hey, guys, thanks for tuning in live on Adobe Radio. The show continues on. You can check out the full episode tomorrow morning on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Thanks for tuning in. Follow us at Wesam's World. Robbie, what's your handle?
On Instagram, I'm Bobby LaFleur. So that's BobbyLaflare. Bobby LaFleur.
All right. Give us a follow. Thanks for tuning in. The show continues on. You worked at Hawaiian Airlines as a baggage thrower. How was that job?
That was okay. So it was in Vegas. So mind you, like whatever the weather. yes, that's the reaction. Is whatever the weather is in Vegas, right? Hot. You're like now on the tarmac. It's like add another like 10 degrees to that.
Oh my god!
You're just like asphalt, just straight to your face in the sun. But it was great. Learned a lot of learning experience from there. Did a lot of growing up, with that job. With the short amount of time that I was there. But yeah, it was a good experience.
Okay.
Good learning experience. But thankfully I'm not there anymore.
Yeah,
I'm chasing the jiu-jitsu dream now.
There you go. I love that. I don't check bags anymore.
Yeah. Good. Please don't put anything that that you even kind of like inside of your bag, okay? Because these people are crazy. Hawaiian Airlines not too bad because everybody's just going to Hawaii. Everybody's coming back, and they're pretty selective with like the people that they hire for Hawaiian Airlines. But Frontier, flying out of Las Vegas, be careful.
People steal stuff.
I think it's this hand goes like this and this and this and this and this. You need to do a whole lot of that. It's just a lot of stuff going on over there. Whether it's with the baggage or they call it above wing and below wing. The pilot's great, but everybody else.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, it's such an invasive thing. Thieves are, man, that annoys me so much. It's such a bitch thing to do. Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah, 100%.
You know that person's not there, and you do that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude.
That's why if you invest in it doesn't even have to be fancy. Just throw a lock onto here's a hack. If you check luggage, just put a little lock on it. All the zippers, and that's it.
That's insane that people check bags and don't put locks on it. I remember somebody did that once, and I was like, what are you doing? Anybody can steal stuff. They're like, oh, well, I'm fine. That's why I love Japan, man. Like, there's a sense of community there that nobody steals stuff. If you drop your wallet on the subway, you're going to find it at a local station, like somewhere. Somebody's going to return it, you know? That doesn't happen here.
Oh, no.
No. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's okay. Again, back to Little Tokyo Fight Club, back to what James Choi has developed in Little Tokyo with the jiu-jitsu, with his Cafe Dulces. There's a sense of community. There's a sense of pride. There's a sense of looking after one another, which I think is necessary for the human mind and spirit. Yeah. Otherwise, you're lost in the sauce.
Yes, 100%.
It's just me. It's just me, man.
Just limit your time lost in the sauce, and it's pretty. You'll do all right. You'll do all right.
So, I'm super excited to show you some of these videos today. We'll watch it at the end, but I found a video that I saw on E-Bombs World when I was in high school.
Ooh,
okay?
That's a throwback.
Big time.
E-Bombs World.
World.
I
Do
like
I still visit it? Yes.
Is it still live and going?
It's going. It's going, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
But this video, which we'll watch at the end of the compilation, oh, dude, it sent shivers up my spine.
Oy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's pretty gnarly.
Okay.
And something I like to do on the show with people I like is show them things that will make them uncomfortable sometimes. Okay? Sometimes it's laughing stuff.
Strap in.
Yeah, strap in. And I was nice because I don't know you that well, so I'm being nice by just showing you one unsettling video today.
Okay, cool. No beheadings.
Yeah.
No.
No. We don't do death here. Yeah.
Good.
But this guy's life has changed for sure.
Oh. Okay.
And also for our new
throw it all out.
viewers. No, we got some new people, Okay. They don't know Wesam or Wesam's World, so we want to be somewhat nice to them, I feel like, hi, welcome. We're okay. All right.
Clip that.
Yeah.
That's a good one. We're okay.
Okay, so
Nice.
Uh,
Taekwondo?
Yeah, shout out to McDojo Life for letting us take some of the videos on his Instagram page.
Hell yeah.
Shut up, Peyton. Shut up, Peyton.
Oh,
Okay.
I wish that was.
A classic board breaking. I think this is this is definitely Taekwondo. So yeah, let's check it out.
The sleeves rolled up.
Got 10 bricks here, guys.
10 bricks. I like that he rolls the belt back so it doesn't get in his way. Okay, baby knows something's gonna happen. Right?
I have such a hard time with these.
Alex, watch it.
I feel like I gotta take off the sweater. Yes.
Oh my god.
Just miss.
Yes. Everything in his life built up for that 45 seconds right there.
Is that great?
And that's a metaphor for life.
Yeah.
You do everything to, and you miss.
Yep.
And you blow it.
I like that he hit in the cinder block that whole area.
Yeah,
So
it's just-
you know it scraped him in a way that's so painful.
My hands are sweaty.
Yeah, good.
Same. I didn't know what we knew he was gonna fumble right after the first. I knew he was something was. It's
Yeah.
The belt backwards. It's too good to be true. I didn't know where it was gonna go though.
So I stopped this perfectly. So McDojo Life did this is a Coach Zero review on this guy on McDojo Life's YouTube. This guy is a complete a-hole, just a douchebag. And this is what I hate, these type of teachers who do this kind of stuff that actually ends up harming their students. And I didn't want to play some of the other ones they had. There were some younger kids which were getting hit just as hard as these guys. So check this out.
Oh,
Whoa.
dude.
Guys,
Hey.
what are you doing? Dude,
How much is the membership? Like, pay $35 a month and I'll have James in
Right?
the back punch you in the face in the belly.
What?
No one's
what a loser.
no one's walking away from that like, yeah, you know what? I'm happy I came to class.
Right. That's insane.
Wow.
There are teachers out there like this, and that's something I like about McDojo Life. He actually calls these teachers out,
That's right.
finds out where they're teaching, and is like, "What you're doing is wrong." You know, this is kind of one of the more tamer guys. There's
Such
some
an ego
also
on him to do
kinda-
that.
I try to be as see both sides as much as I can. But shame on those guys showing up also like getting punched in the.
Yeah.
Hey, I get it. Bad instruction exists. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you stick around, if that's your first class, if I walk in, and that's,
Dude.
I'm gonna go next door. I'm gonna go next. Yeah.
I'll tell you outside of class. I had your Little Tokyo wasn't the first time I went to a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu trial class.
I love these stories.
I might as well just tell it on
Yeah,
here.
let's
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Let's hear it. Okay.
There was the very first one was with James actually, and it wasn't James or it wasn't the instructor. It wasn't everybody else except one guy in the class.
Mhm.
We were just doing a drill where you put the person's body weight on your stomach, and they kind of put their stomach on your stomach and just roll to the other side just to feel what it's like having another person on you. And then and I'm brand new, and then this guy, he gets me in an arm bar. And I'm like, hey, stop. And then I hear
Oh, baby.
in my where the rib connects to the sternum.
Yeah.
Dude, I had a bruised rib for like a month, and it was hurting to breathe. And I'm like, dude, thanks a lot. This is my first class. What a jerk, you know?
Dude, if you only knew how common that is, like for people's first experience of jiu-jitsu, okay, so if like this many people do jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
You lose so many people because of bad experiences like that. Somebody either just going too hard or not being a good partner, or just being a dick, or
Yeah.
anything like that. People getting hurt their first day. that happens so sadly way too often. That's why I try to bring the vibes that I do to jiu-jitsu, because I know the jiu-jitsu is hard. It's tough, but you should try to limit that as much as you can. Save that for when we're actually doing the jiu-jitsu part. Other than that, like, there's no sense in hurting somebody on their first day.
What'd you gain from that? Cool, you got me in an armbar.
Yeah.
Awesome. I tapped. We're not even doing that, dude.
Yeah.
Are you insane?
Yeah. As much as they want to say, like, there's no jiu-jitsu kills the ego or whatever. There's ego. There's still there.
The second class I took, the instructor literally said first things out of his mouth. One of the first things was, well, expect to get injured. And I'm like, oh, well, no, I'm actually a working actor, so I don't want to get injured. And he's like, well, you just got, and he tried to backtrack on it. And I'm like, no, dude, like, this is the worst sales pitch ever. Yeah.
You're like, you have 5 seconds to sell me on jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Give me it. He's like, you're going to get injured. Like,
Well,
pass.
pass.
Thank you.
Hard pass.
Yeah.
You know what, though? I'd like to take this next person's course.
So in super slow motion, it's gonna look something like this. I'm gonna walk it through step by step and explain a little bit while we go. So these guys have me on both sides, got me with both hands. I don't want to muscle up at all, which activates them, brings them closer to me. I wanna make sure these stay relaxed. Now, when June makes a move, I'm gonna step here, use the sticking technique that we talked about in the other video. This comes forward as my weight shifts into not a grab, but a soft redirect. This comes this way and turns into a takeaway. Here, get a cut. This touch here sticks, and it freezes as I step through, get a cut, and
Give it time. Give it time.
It's so easy. It's so easy.
What are we doing here? What are we doing here, lady? He's like, I've got an idea for a video. Or even if it didn't go that direction, somebody was like, we got to get this on video.
Right.
And you got to show it. The world needs to see this.
Well, there's a couple things that are so interesting from that video. First of all, are you being sacrificed, like in front of a fire? Like one guy's holding one hand, the other guy's holding the other, and one guy's right in the middle. Like, what's going on here?
If you ever find yourself in a sacrifice situation, this lady will
Stick
save
hand
your life.
technique.
The sticky hand technique.
Yep.
Yeah, we missed the
Yes.
previous video. I want to
I
know what
know.
sticky hand technique.
That's one of my favorite things of watching like these McDojo live videos. I love like the names of the techniques because I'm bad at remembering this stuff too, and I'll make it up on the fly. Like, this is the spinneroozy. They're like, are you sure that's legit? I said that. You questioning me. You're questioning me. Don't question me. Yeah, spinneroozy. It's from Brazil. You guys wouldn't know. It's okay. But I love hearing the names like the
sticky hand.
sticky hand.
Next
technique.
time I roll with you, I'm gonna be like, "You ready for the sticky hand?"
Sticky hand technique.
Yeah.
Palm of face.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, exactly. We just make it up as we go. But that's my favorite question to ask. What are we doing here?
Okay, so for the last video, I'm gonna give you this file just so you know. But
Okay.
I wasn't able to screen record it with the sound, so we're just gonna watch it from the eBombs World website,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, because the sound is important.
Okay.
Let's see what E-Bum's been up to.
All right, let me just make sure it's reloaded correctly.
Oh, nice. This is an IBJJF tournament.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh! Oh!
Oh.
Don't look, Alex. Seriously, don't look. I mean, this guy's a jerk for doing this. Big time, like, D-bag. Like, what were you doing?
Oh, folded like a chair. Oh, he's stuck. Dude.
That's sorry. Sorry, that's just it's just the sound he was making at the end. It's terrible. I'm not laughing at that. It's just so bad.
You are.
That's pretty hard to watch.
That was tough.
Yeah.
That was tough. And you know what's this is so I don't know if you guys are familiar with these, but that's probably like a PG version of some of the stuff that's out there that's going on. It gets gnarly.
What's with the deal? Okay, this is a tournament. I get that, right? There's right now a 16-year-old. I forget his name. I saw TikTok on it. I forgot where I put it or whatever. But he's going through these tournaments injuring people. everybody he rolls with.
Is he the adult Slayer guy?
Yes.
And he's tearing apart everybody's ACL, MCL, making them verbally tap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. Can I say it?
Yeah.
That guy's a dick.
Yeah.
That guy's a dick, man. I've watched some of his videos, just trying to like understand, like, okay, what's like but he's laying on to some of this stuff, like, oh, dude, like that guy's, you know, he might walk, you know, later, but he's probably not going to be doing jiu-jitsu again for
a year at least. Are you kidding?
At least.
What surgery recovery, just so that everything grows properly, is 6 months plus another 6 months for rehab. That's a year right there, at least a year.
Guaranteed.
Dude, what do you like? How do you stop somebody from doing that? Like, is there like, was he abused as a kid? Where, you know what I mean? Where he thinks that's okay, that's where he gets his anger out, right? And or is he just a dick? And do you need to just beat the shit out of it? Somebody needs to like tear both his ACLs for him to go, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that to people.
That's a really good question. We'd have to sit. You'd have to sit in this chair, and I'd have to sit right over there and ask that also. Like, hey, man, why?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I don't know why. But you run into that in jiu-jitsu, you know, maybe not to that extreme, but, you know, you get people that, like, come in and, like, not the friendliest role. Not saying that you have to be, like, the nicest, most humble person ever, but, like, this thing of, like, holding on to submissions even after someone taps is a very, very, that stamps you for life.
Oh, I have dark
life.
thoughts
Yeah.
when I see people do that.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, what if that's my brother?
Yeah. And there's two things that you can usually gauge. There's a few things, but like the main ones that like we look for, at least at our gym, is like, one, can you, like, do you have respect? Do you have humble? Can you be like a good training partner, right? Are you not going from one side of the mat, not looking out for other people, rolling to the other side of the mat, you know, no spatial awareness? And like, two, can you like roll with people who are lighter than you or women?
Yeah.
That is huge in jiu-jitsu, to be able to like roll with somebody who's lighter than you and to still like focus on trying to use technique and not allowing your ego to get in the way and like get smashed or like wrecked or get submitted by, you know, somebody else, you know, like I said, who's smaller than you, or maybe like a woman, you know, like it's very, you have to like check yourself, and people who don't, like, dude, you can like spot it almost sometimes like a mile away.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, and it doesn't breed like good jiu-jitsu. Like there's no long-term way of doing that, because there's always, in jiu-jitsu, there's always somebody who's going to be better than you or is going to catch you in something, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, everybody's day will come type of thing. That's also what's beautiful about jiu-jitsu, right? It's like this forever growing thing. Like nobody's going to be the best at it and be the top dog forever,
No.
because there's so much time. It's so complex that you have to just, that there's always somebody, there's always an answer to something.
Right.
So,
You know, it's really interesting when I always hear these arguments online. A lot of them are stupid, like the pound for pound best fighter ever, you know, and then they start going, well, he would have beat him in his heyday and he would have beat him. And I'm like, you guys are seeing it from the wrong perspective. It changes.
yes.
It's always going to be ebbs and flows. Like you could, to say like, no, these people were harder for this person than these people were harder for that person. It's always like, I don't know. I feel like they're never complimentary. It's always, a lot of the arguments come from a place of, oh, I just like this guy better, so I'm just gonna find all the good things about this fighter,
Yes.
and defend why I think they're the pound for pound best person. I always try to look for what kind of example are they setting outside of the ring as well. You know,
The fighter as a whole.
yeah,
Yeah.
not just like in the
person
ring.
as a whole. Yeah.
There's, you know, like John Jones, where they're like, he's like the best ever, and I'm like, what about his actions outside of the ring? Would you want your son or daughter to do that? You know, would you be proud of your son and daughter to be doing what he's doing outside of the ring? And he's in the public eye, so there has to be some kind of, you know, inspection on how this person is living their life, because he's influencing a lot of people, you know? And so if they see him doing amazing things in the ring and then, you know, doing these terrible things outside of the ring, people are gonna watch, especially young impressionable minds are gonna be like, oh, that's okay because he's doing the good things. You know, that's why I like Habib.
Yeah.
As a whole, I think he's the best fighter.
Yeah.
Pound for pound. He's my number one because of what he does mostly outside of the ring as well. His community efforts, his charitable work, how he lives his life, what he focuses on, how he builds up his community,
how he treats his team, how important he's always talking about his team. Like I learned a lot from that from you know like Habib or you know, and a lot of these like high level, you know, MMA guys. Is like it's never just them. It's always like a big shout out to like their coach and their training partners and their team and their gym. Like that's huge, and I try to carry that also like anywhere I go, like wherever life takes me, I have like this this list, and it grows and names add to it of like people that like I'm like, without so and so I wouldn't be here, without him I wouldn't be here, without you know, my coaches at Conde, you know, my mentors at Conde, you know, family members, like now it's like James, you, like these people who are like help me, like, oh dang, like either teach me something or, you know, force me to think in a different way. And it's like,
dude, man, Robbie, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
You're definitely welcome to come back anytime you want when you're opening up your new school, or maybe when
Little Tokyo takes off.
Yeah, we'll bring maybe you and James together on the show. We'll talk about that. I wanted to shout out Diego too.
100%.
Your assistant teacher, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. He helps me out every day, every week over at Little Tokyo. Is also a kids coach over at Kondikoma with me. So
awesome.
Yeah, so we're with each other a lot.
And let's shout out what's the jiu-jitsu school called?
Kondikoma. It's in Los Alamitos. It's a jiu-jitsu school over on Catella and Bloomfield.
Great.
Check us out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. At Bobby Flair?
Yeah, Bobby LaFleur on Instagram.
Great. Thanks for tuning in. Play us out, Alex.
Yeah,
I guess.
got you this time.
Thanks, guys, for tuning into the show. Thank you so much. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the bell icon for notifications for our up-to-date episodes, as well as leave a comment below. Appreciate you guys. The subscribership has been growing up more and more, and thank you so much. We really appreciate you guys. We appreciate the nice, friendly comments below. Love you guys' support. Seriously do. We read the comments, and we love you guys. Thank you so much. If you're listening on Spotify, just hit the subscribe button as well. It goes a long way. And Apple Podcasts, same thing. I'm at Wesam Quiche, at Wesam's World, at Peyton Grufick, at Alexander Gorski, at Bobby LaFleur, and you can follow Little Tokyo Fight Club to see when classes are going on and when we go, when they go full grand opening with everything. Usually Sundays at 6 p.m. At Yabeseo Little Market in Little Tokyo downtown. Always remember to listen, think, and then talk. Bye, guys.